All right. Hey, welcome back to the Go for CEO channel. I am John Andrade, your host, and today is Saturday, January 2nd, 2021, and it is Separation Saturday. Okay. We're going to be talking every Saturday about 2 or 3 things that you could do on a Saturday to separate yourself from the competition. Over the last probably 5 or 10 years, I've really dedicated all of my Saturdays really to taking a portion of my time on a Saturday, okay, and being different, getting some work in when I know that my competition is not working, okay? And that was when I was working at a bank, right, as the manager, and I knew that my fellow manager colleagues were off on Saturdays, all right? They just did not work on Saturdays, and what I did was put in 4, 5, 6 hours on the Saturday with my team. I collaborated, I worked with my guys and gals, and I actually separated myself in the competition because the production that came in on Saturdays, which by the way, for a bank, that's when people usually go, right? Because other people are usually working, but that was a separating mindset that I had. So I'm going to teach you today for a few minutes here, what's called AOA. So this is my fancy graphic here, AOA. So A is assess, okay? Here's what you're going to do, okay? If you haven't over the last few weeks, which was in December of 2020, assessed where you're at, take inventory of what you have available to you, what you currently know in your mind, what tools do you have, who do you know, how can you get to the things that you need to accomplish in 2021? Well, you have to assess currently where you're at today. Okay. If you take assessing that time over the next day or two, especially since it's still the weekend and you just started this year, and if you maybe didn't do it in December, assess where you're at. All right. Let me put on my glasses real quick because I have the screen. Assess is a verb. Evaluate or estimate the nature, ability, or quality of. All right. Assess where you're at currently and remember this acronym, AOA. Because the next step after assessing where you're at, the inventory that you have, the tools that you have, what you know in your knowledge bank, who do you have around you, is organize that, okay? Your list of contacts, do you have a CRM? Or do you have a way of knowing where your contacts are? Do you use just your phone? Do you use a paper? Do you have some Rolodex, an old school Rolodex, right? Do you have it all in your mind? Get organized. Get organized after you assess where you're at and what the tools that you have and who you know, okay? Get organized. Organized is a way of starting to channel things where they need to properly be, okay? In your computer, do you have that database of where you need to go to? In your phone, do you have those notes where you need to be able to capture things that you think about on a daily basis, okay? Organize yourself at your office. As you see my office, pretty simple. Got a little cabinet drawer there, got a book, got my painting here, picture, of Chicago. But I get organized and then I'm able to attack the day. That is, yes, the last A. So AOA, assess, organize, attack. All right. If you aren't attacking on a daily basis, you're not separating yourself. Okay. You need to attack. You need to take action, all right? And it's not like you haven't heard this before, but determine that once you've assessed your situation, organized yourself so that you know where everything is and available to you, attack, all right? That is the last message I can give you to separate yourself on Saturdays, all right? As Separation Saturday, it's really driven by mindset, all right? Giving yourself an ability to separate yourself by the actions that you take by attacking the day. You know, so part of organization, let me go back a little bit. Part of organization, as an example, is Saturdays from 7:30 a.m. till about 2:30, 3 o'clock p.m. I really take those days and I attack Saturdays. And that's been that way for about 10 years or so. I've been able to take Saturdays and just stretch myself just a little bit more than that regular 9-to-5 mindset that most people have. And if you're willing to do that on a Saturday morning through the early afternoon, and if you have a family like me, which by the way, I've got 3 girls under 9 years old, 9, 7, and 18 months. I'm a husband also of 11 years. I have a business. I have, obligations of other things. And it's amazing what I can do on a Saturday morning when I just dedicate myself and have some attack mode mindset. So, hope this video has helped you. If you have any questions about AOA, assess, organize, attack. So, that's Separation Saturday message for today, January 2nd, 2021. I hope that you have a phenomenal year this year. But join me on every Saturday while I give you nuggets of 3, 5, 7, 10 minutes, all right, from my mindset to yours to be able to separate yourself and go for CEO.